What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 10-7 MMA channel. I got a strange setup today, so the lighting's not exactly what it normally is, but I hope you guys will excuse me. Anyways, I wanted to make this video in defense of Ariel Helwani, and that's what it's going to be called, and that's what this is about. Now, I've mentioned this many times on the channel. I'm a big fan of Ariel Helwani. He is the inspiration for the name of our channel, 10-7 MMA, of course, from Ariel's many 10-7s against guys like Brendan Schaub and other folks who seem to step up and want to challenge him and have these little internet beefs with him. So anyways, I'm a big fan. That being said, I've also not shied away from criticizing him when I felt like it's fair, but I'll do that to anybody, and I feel like he'll criticize people as well, and that's just part of the game. And I'm never doing it from a malicious standpoint, but just certain things that I think me or anybody might want to call out about anybody else, whatever, right? We're going to speak our mind. So I hope people don't conflate that with me not being a fan of Ariel. I'm a huge fan of Ariel Helwani. I love what he brings to the sport of MMA, and I think he brings something that nobody else can match or rival with his amazing ability to interview people, ask really thought-provoking questions, and maybe sometimes ruffle some feathers, but I think he's a huge credit, a huge asset to the sport of mixed martial arts, as well as boxing. So this video is actually about Ariel's participation now in the sport of boxing, which seems to be growing. He is, of course, has a solid relationship with Jake Paul. He recently was commentate. I don't know if he was actually doing the play-by-play, but I know he was going in and doing the post-fight interviews for the Amanda Serrano-Katie Taylor fight that just happened on Saturday via Netflix. Now, Ariel's gotten a lot of backlash from the boxing community for two things in particular that happened, which I'm going to tee up in a second. And we're going to talk about both of these things. And it to me, the fact that he has gotten this backlash and the fact that the way that he's taking it, and you're going to see in the video, the way he's approaching this mistake, this failure, if you want to call it that, this is such a minor thing in my opinion, but I get why he's taking it so personally. And the reason why is because he cares. He is a perfectionist. He wants things to go perfectly. He wants to show that he belongs in the sport of boxing as well as the sport of MMA. And he's going above and beyond to be absolutely flawless and perfect in his job. And I wanted to take a moment to defend Ariel because I know it's really easy and sometimes it's really popular for people to beat up on Ariel or criticize him. And as I mentioned, I've done that as well. I'm not saying I haven't. I feel like I've done it fairly when I've done it, just pointing out things that like I would with anybody, like I would with Michael Bisping or whatnot. But what I haven't done, and that's why I want to make this video, is I wanted to stick up for him on this front in particular. And here's what it is. Here's the point. All the other guys that have come along, including Michael Bisping, including Daniel Cormier, including all these guys that have popped up recently, Submission Radio, they've all been in the mix. They've got followings on YouTube. They're doing their thing. But nobody's been doing this as long as Ariel Helwani, and I don't think he gets credit for that. He's going on like 18 or 19 years or something crazy like that in the business, yet he still shows up. He's still consistent. In fact, he just increased the frequency of his show, and I think for somebody who's been around for so long, been at the top for so long, it's easy for them to potentially fall off or to lose interest or to want to move to something else, but he hasn't. And yet maybe he's branching out to different areas of combat sports like boxing or even obviously wrestling. Professional wrestling is not, you know what I mean? Like WWE, that's not really combat sports, but it's something that he's passionate about. It's something that he's also diving into. But that being said, he's still sticking with MMA. And I think we have to give credit where credit's due for somebody who's exhibited such extreme professionalism over such a prolonged period of time. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Now, there are two things that Ariel is being criticized for in this fight for things that he said. So the first thing, actually, I didn't even find any articles on the first thing. People are more upset about the second thing, which I'm going to get to in a second. But the first thing, he made some incorrect statement, a very small statement after the Katie Taylor fight about her being like the first champion to do something. I don't know. He explains it in the video, but he misspoke. Look, I've been in there in Fusion Fight League in these smaller promotions, giving the post-fight interviews. Like, making a mistake, it can easily happen in the heat of the moment. You got the entire crowd around you. It's super loud. Like, you can even stumble over your words. It's hard to hear yourself. So I think we have to give a lot of grace for somebody when they're in that moment, especially Ariel's starting to be a little bit new to this, but you know he's out there trying his hardest, and for people to criticize him so heavily for these things, I think is just really unfair. But the good thing about Ariel is, regardless of the mistakes that have happened, you know he's going to ante up and try to do 10 times better, 100 times better next time around. So let me play this little clip where he talks about making this mistake, and you can see how upset he is from it. And I think this just goes to show how committed and how dedicated he is to his job, and so you know he's going to come out improved and better than ever the next time around. So check this out.
The post-fight interview for the Shernika Johnson versus Sheretta Metcalf fight, which was ultimately won by Shernika Johnson. She is now the undisputed bantamweight champion.
I apologize. So it wasn't after the Katie Taylor fight. It was after this fight. But anyways, undisputed bantamweight champion.
Right before, I'm talking seconds before, I'm told by someone on the team, hey, you should ask her what it feels like to be the first ever undisputed bantamweight champion in the 4-belt era for male or female. It's never been done. Now, I knew that it's never been done as far as the women are concerned, because I had said it earlier in the week while doing the press conference and reading about it. The male part did not sound right. It did not sound right. But I'm talking, I got like 30 to 45 seconds to process this. So I'm like, all right, well, if this is what's being told to me, then I guess it's right. And so I say to her, first line, you're now the first, male or female. How does it feel? How does that sound? She reacts all this and more. I go and sit down, and I'm like, well, I really don't, something seems off here. And I look it up, and lo and behold, it's not right. No, in a way, was undisputed bantamweight champion in 2022. I mean, if I could have dug a hole in MSG and buried myself, I would have been very happy to do that. I know that there are a lot of people in the sport of boxing who are trying to discredit me at every single opportunity, who are trying to say that I don't belong there, who are trying to say that I'm not worthy, that I'm an MMA guy, this and that. They could say all they want that I'm not good at my job. They could say that I don't ask the right questions, whatever. But if I give them any type of inch, if I give them any type of ammunition to back up their claim that I don't belong there, that pisses me off, because I'm trying to do even extra to show that I do belong there.
So I just want to play that. He goes on, and you can see that he's very upset, but I just hope you guys recognize, if you guys have ever tried to work at something or build something or get into something new, try something new, which is he's doing right now, you can see that the way he's approaching it, I think, is picture perfect. His mentality and mindset is to be flawless and to try his absolute best. And so he's beating himself up for what I consider a relatively minor mistake. Obviously, it was on a big stage. I probably would feel the same exact way about it, but from my outside perspective, it's a really minor mistake. He accidentally, sorry, you're hearing the dogs running around right now, but he accidentally included male in that proclamation when it should have just been female, as a minor mistake. And he goes on to say later on that he asked her about it and she didn't even notice it. She had no idea. She was just in the heat of the moment. So anyways, that's one thing that I wanted to point out. And I think you have to give him credit for the fact of how seriously he's still taking his job after all of this time. There's all these new people in the game. MMA Guru is one great example. We also have, obviously, Mighty Mouse, who's got a big following now, but nobody's been doing it as long and as consistently as Ariel Helwani. Now we're going to get to the second thing, that this is where a lot of people have apparently been outraged. Apparently, it's just crazy that they're so outraged from this, but they're outraged at Ariel Helwani. So look at this article from Essentially Sports. Ariel Helwani outrages fight world by humiliating fighter on Taylor Serrano 3 card. So listen to this. While Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano trilogy headlined, it was, the controversy centered on Ramla Ali's unanimous decision over Brazil's Lila Furtado, a decision that surprised many. So apparently, I didn't watch this, by the way, but apparently on the card, the commentating team was saying that they felt that the decision was clearly incorrect. Ariel felt the same way too, right? So it says, though Ali showcased cleaner technique, Furtado's relentless pressure appeared to sway the momentum round 2 onwards. All respect to Ramla Ali, but she didn't win that fight, said Andre Ward. So that was even on the commentary team. So it's not like Ariel Helwani is alone, or probably not even wrong. It's probably a fair assessment, is my guess. Then it said Furtado landed a strong right hand in round 2, whatever. Okay. So now we go on. So it goes, here's the viral clip, right? Ariel Helwani was seen conducting Ramla Ali's post-fight interview, which many fans deemed inappropriate. Ariel said, I would like to be transparent with you. I did not think you won the fight from the scorecards perspective. And I think the official scorecards of the broadcast just being 100% honest. Are you surprised by the scorecards? Do you not think as well did you not think as well for being 100% honest, something like this? Ramla Ali said, no, I thought I won. I thought the dropping of the second round should have been scored as a knockdown. Hence, I took 2 steps back, blah, blah, blah. So she's talking about a drop down. Anyways, many fans were left feeling let down by Helwani's approach. Instead of showering Ali with congratulations and inquiring about her next move, he crossed the line by directly challenging the validity of her victory. Now, I heard about this. I don't know what the right thing to do is, but I feel like what Ariel, and I'm going to play this next clip from Ariel where he talks about this in particular, but I feel like he was trying to do the honest, right thing. And again, he even makes the point in this episode today, in this live stream, how weird would it have been if I'd been like, what an epic fight. Congratulations. That was amazing. Where it's like, and then moments before the commentary team and everybody's saying like, I think this is a robbery. I think this decision went wrong. And the other thing he said was he could have easily said, hey, some people are saying that it was a close fight and maybe it could have gone the other way. Do you have any comments on that? And he said, I don't want to say that because that's how I felt. So I wanted to put it out there that it was what I was thinking and not hide behind the some say phrase, which I think deserves a lot of respect. So I'm going to let Ariel Helwani explain this in his own words.
Which was my post-fight interview with Ramla Ali. Ramla Ali and Lila Furtado fought in a highly entertaining affair, which in the end Ramla won, which I thought Furtado had won about, I don't know, 6-2, that type of scorecard. In fact, I was texting the group chat asking what the odds were going into the fight because I was so surprised at how the fight was going. And it was something like minus 1,000, minus 1,100. She was that big of a favorite. The broadcast, Sean Wheelock, who was the unofficial scorekeeper, he also had it, I think, 6-2 or 5-3. So when they were reading the scorecards, and it was like, I don't remember what the numbers were, but let's say like 87, 85, something like that. I was talking to the Portuguese interpreter and I was telling her like, okay, you're going to stand here and Lila's going to stand here. And I was that sure that she had won the fight. She fought her heart out. They both did, but someone has to win. And then of course they announced that Ramla wins. So now you got to change what you're thinking. And I like, this is my dream. This is everything I wanted to do. Like, if you would have asked me 20 years ago, be in the ring, be on the stage, interview the fighters, not in the back, but like in the ring moments after. And I take that job extremely, extremely, extremely serious. Like, that is a privilege and it's a huge honor, but it's a very important job. I didn't think she won. And sometimes in the past when I've done this, and sometimes when I've watched people do this, I've thought to myself, like, just be honest with how you feel. Don't be disrespectful, but I don't like when people say like some people are saying, or the internet is saying, or some have said, or like, no, if this is how you feel, don't hide behind some people. And so I didn't think that she won. And so I said to her, yeah, I want to be transparent with you. I didn't think you won that fight. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. The clip that was put out cut off the part where I said that and reiterated it in my follow-up. But nevertheless, I thought she handled it very well. And I would like to think that, that I did. Clearly, this ruffled some feathers. A lot of people were upset about this, which, is going to happen. But not for a second did I try to be disrespectful or take away from her moment. I did see, unfortunately, a lot of people try to insinuate that this was some sort of like Jewish Muslim thing.
I'm going to stop it right there. And of course, I know that's not what it is. I don't think any like normal regular people actually think that had anything to do with that. I didn't watch the moment, but I know that wasn't what it was. I think that makes a lot of sense. And of course, the safe route is just to do the typical, hey, that was congratulations. That was amazing. Tell us, what was your game plan? Blah, blah. But Ariel, that's not Ariel. He digs deeper. He's truthful. He wants to be straight up. That's what he was feeling. He presented it. Maybe it was a little edgier thing to do. But what you can't criticize him for is doing anything, I guess, half-hearted, right? He's giving it his all. He was trying to ask a real question, be authentic in the moment. And maybe in retrospect, maybe he will do it differently in the future. I have no idea. But I think that whatever criticism you can send his way, any mistakes he may have made, he was trying to do the best job possible. He wasn't trying to go in half-hearted. He did his research. He did his absolute best. It is what it is. So I just think that Ariel, in this instance, but in general, should get his due credit in the areas where he deserves it, which is he works really, really hard. He tries his best. He's very careful with his research. He's very careful with what he releases, and we gotta call spade a spade. That's what it is. So, anyways, there's my video sticking up for Ariel Helwani. Hope you guys appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.